So in a sales position, right, it's the number of meaningful interactions. So on the one side here, we have the percent of people who the percent of salespeople in general who follow up or who have meaningful interactions compared to how much they give up. So over 48% of salespeople, and this includes business owners who are also selling, will stop following up after the first let's call negative interaction. Sure. So the client doesn't buy right away. They don't answer the phone. They don't return your call. They don't show up to the meeting. They don't whatever. But we also know that almost 80% of deals are actually won after the seventh meaningful interaction. And so with that, we need to follow up. We need to deliver value and consistency. So if we come back to the strawberry field, right, the difference is walking through the field with a pail, a watering pail. And this is going to take time. It's going to take effort. But ultimately, you're going to get the desired result of what you want. But at the end of the day, you're still having to manually do that. So what if in your business you could reach much further? So let's compare and contrast the watering pail with the automatic sprinkler system here. One, sprinkler system took a lot of planning. It probably needed to rely on the expertise of someone who's done it before.
Right. An irrigation specialist. Yeah. I don't know what that person is. I'm not a farmer.
I've always had my dad come over and help me with it. But and then it takes some more planning, a little bit of expertise, and work. But you're able to reach so much further, and your result, as opposed to a basket of strawberries, is something that looks a lot more like a business as opposed to a hobby in your backyard.
And it's really important. I mean, you may be in a position in your business where you don't want to scale. There's value in being that boutique guy that wanders around with a pail, individually watering each strawberry. Your deals may be like, if I close this one, that's $100,000 deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Great. This conversation probably isn't for you. The effort it takes to scale it beyond individual conversations to multiple conversations takes forethought.
Absolutely. And so ultimately, takeaways that I want you to pull from the strawberries specifically are that it's important to know what's in your field, and that you need to stop letting your profits rot out in the field. And growth happens when systems and automation are leveraged effectively.
Right.
And so on that note, on the automation note, we're gonna take a look at some campaigns, and the screenshots here are from Infusionsoft. Realistically, you guys don't care what system anyone uses. You guys work in pretty much every marketing automation platform, right?
Yeah, much like you out there watching this, if we just siloed ourselves into one software, it's not a solid business model.
Dangerous place.
It's a dangerous place. Yeah. And so I'm not in the business, though we're going to be talking about Infusionsoft here. This process looks like Infusionsoft because it is, but it's not necessarily limited. This is ideas and principles that I want you to kind of get your mind wrapped around. And so if we pull up that first slide there, Jim.
Yep, I got it.
So we're looking at this guy. Yeah, look at that. So this is an Infusionsoft campaign. And what we're talking about is timing and staying engaged with your list. For those 90% of conversations that don't close out of the gate, how are we reliably following up to maximize their value? Now, one of the big gotchas that I hear from people a lot of the time is wrong message at the wrong time to the wrong person, where you send them out an email offering them to buy a widget, and they respond back and go, Clint, I already got that widget.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to have a system, again, forethought, of checks and balances to keep your automation in line. Again, I don't want you to be the guy with egg on your face saying, how did this guy get this message? So first thing that we do when we do this is Jimmy wants to say something. Go, Jim.
No, I was just going to say, just give me a cue when you want me to go to the next
right.
one over here.
Perfect. So
that's all.
There you go.
Could have worked out something more subtle beforehand, but
yeah,
you know.
No, look, I
like
every entrepreneur, I like to shoot from the hip, drive everybody else crazy around me. So somebody enters this campaign. Now, this is a simple campaign. And if you want the template for this, by all means, just schedule a consult with me and I'll give it to you. So I want the idea to flow over you. Don't try and dissect how I did it. Okay. So I'm selling, this is like bottom of the funnel. Right? They've come in for a webinar. I'll show you the campaign like flow here in a second. They've come in from a webinar. They didn't convert. Where do they go next? Well, this client's instance, we're going to send them and we're going to try and upsell them into a free plus shipping on a book, right? Now, before I make that happen, they're automatically entering this campaign. But before I make the offer, I have a little logic check. I call it gatekeeper logic right there. I'm going to ask one simple question. Have they bought the book? That's it, right? If the answer is no, they haven't bought the book, they're going to proceed on. If the answer is yes, they have bought it, they're out, right? Not making an offer. So if we click over to the next one, Jim. Okay. So for these guys, I have no problem. They have no problem, rather, repeating the offer to the person, but they don't want to repeat it week by week by week.
Yeah.
So in this instance, timeline is arbitrary. Do whatever you need. They're going to say, hey, have I offered this to them in the last 3 months? No. Proceed. They go on to the next one. If the answer is yes, they're out, right? So now they get into this final decision diamond, and inside of here, I'm actually letting them run through both phases. If they've not bought the book, haven't seen this offer in the last 3 months, I'm pitching them again, right? And they're going to go into that top line sequence where I have content. Now, inside of that sequence, they've got emails. We can adjust the audience that they're seeing in Facebook ads, etc., so that we're getting a cohesive attack, so to speak, on their buying. But at the same time, I'm planning ahead and I'm saying, hey, if they've seen this, put a timer. 3 months. It is a no-go for these guys for 3 months.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing here is we're attacking, or trying to approach, rather, attacking is a bit aggressive. We're approaching each of our prospects with individualized care. I don't want to offer them things they already have. I don't want to bombard them. And from a process standpoint, this is going to keep you welcome in their inbox.
Yeah.
Right? As well as keep you on the good list for your email providers, so that you're not sending irrelevant information.